Wow, I actually got this video to be right on time. Good evening to those who listen. It is November 5th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. on the nose. And we're going to be discussing in this video AI and other things that have led to weather modification, weather manipulation, and the sun simulator, which are all part of it. Now, AI, how long has AI been around? Good question. It's been around for a lot longer than people think. I'm actually thinking that it's possible, now this is just a theory and opinion, that AI might have been around since the fallen angels have been around. That could have went way back before Noah even. Just throwing that out there. But the advanced AI that we know now has been probably, I don't know, the last 10 years, the more advanced AI. AI has been around for many, many decades that we know about. But then again, it was just primitive back in those times, like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You know, the first AI or the first artificial intelligence that I remember was those football games, the electronic football games where they were just lines, and I forgot what brand it was, but it came out in like 77, 78. And then that was a football game where you're a line, and then there's other lines, and you got to avoid the lines or it's considered being tackled. And then when you're moving up and down, it learns, so it anticipates your move, so it changes around. That was primitive back then, but that's what I remember. And if you want to go back to predictive programming in movies, the first one that I can think of was 2001: A Space Odyssey. HAL, the computer, was AI. If you think about that. First off, though, I just came across something from Supernatural Bible Changes, and I want to show you this because this is something that he just put out, and it's like, wow. So let me get over here to, is that it? That's it, I think. All right, let me go back to make sure we're here, and we're here. Hopefully you can see that. It's weird. It's like when I'm looking at it myself, it looks like it's blank, but hopefully it's showing you what I'm seeing. So wisdom has changed into knowledge. Just take a quick look. Proverbs 1:7. I'm just looking at Supernatural Bible Changes channel. He's got 724 subscribers. He needs to get some more subscribers. Go over and subscribe to him. So now it's changed to the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, not wisdom. But then if you look, it goes on, but fools despise wisdom. So again, right there, it's contradicting itself. If it was knowledge, wouldn't it say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise knowledge? It's like it's showing wisdom, but it's like, where's the other wisdom? So what's, okay, well, some people might say, well, oh, big deal. It's knowledge and wisdom. It's the same thing. Are you sure about that? Because it's not. Let me show you. Let me show you the difference. All right, so the difference between knowledge and wisdom, knowledge refers to the facts, information, and skills acquired through learning or education. So Right now, anything could be considered knowledge. And let me hold on one second. Let me think of something. Very good. Where's it go? Okay, there we go. Very good. Sorry, it was paused there for a second. So again, wisdom or knowledge is just referring to facts, information, and skills learned. Now, nowadays, there's much knowledge about everything. But if you think about it, a lot of the knowledge of nowadays is useless knowledge. Wisdom is the quality of having experience, good judgment, and the sensible application of knowledge. So there's a big difference. Anybody can have knowledge, and it could be something of they might, maybe they now have knowledge of science, of nature, of geography, music trivia, movie trivia. That's, some of that stuff is just useless knowledge. It does not help you with biblical wisdom of what is, in the Bible and what God is teaching us. Does that make sense? So there's that. So, and I want to show you one more thing too. Is that going to do it? No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Where's the... Oh, there it is. All right, so sorry, I was in the wrong spot there. Let me show you another thing too. Revelation in the end days, Daniel 12. Well, not Revelation, sorry. Daniel 12 says, knowledge shall be increased and people will go to and fro. So knowledge shall be increased. Yeah, it's all, the Google searches, we used to, back in the day, when we went to school, we'd have to go to the library, if we had to do a book report, to get our information, we'd have to look in books and dictionaries and encyclopedias. Now we can just look it up online, and all that information is right there as a Google search. So knowledge and wisdom are two different things. So I just wanted to point that out. So again, great job again by Supernatural Bible Changes. I really like that channel. I just found out about him just recently, within like a month, I believe. But yeah, so there's that. Just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was important. That has to do with the Mandela effect, the Bible Mandela effect, or what people would call Bible changes in the Bible. And if you haven't, go over to his channel, check him out. If you think it's the good information, subscribe to his channel. If he can get to 1,000, that will give him a chance to do live streams and stuff too. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought there. Also, I have some videos too that I did about the Mandela effect, and I have playlists too. You can go through those playlists to find the Mandela effects. Some of them are just regular Bible effect or Mandela effects that are worldly, and some are actually songs, and then some are Bible changes. So check those out too. And one of the ones that just happened, it happened 2 years ago now, almost 2 years ago, Christmas time. Christmas songs have changed. So if you remember, I'll Be Home for Christmas. How does that go? Think of it in your head right now. I'll be home for Christmas. You can, and then fill in the word. So that is changed, and I know that one is because I've heard this song, my whole life. Come on now. So it's, you can count on me. Well, no, now it hasn't. Supposedly, you can count on me has never existed. And it was always, you can plan on me. Sorry to say, but that's, I mean, it kind of fits, but it doesn't sound right. And then the other one was up on the click, click, click. What is that one? Well, if you said rooftop, you'd be right. But no, it's changed. Now it's up on the housetop. Really? Come on. So there's a couple more examples. I don't want to go on. That was totally something that I wasn't going to talk about, but we did anyway. So let's get on to the weather manipulation, the sun simulator, and the AI. So let me share the next screen. And we should be here. Okay, yes. Okay, so let's go back again. That was from Supernatural Bible Changes. I still got to go through that one video with the John Kerwin to see what other ones there are out there too. I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy with everything, and then you forget about stuff. There's also more stuff happening with. We've had 3 X flares and 1 strong M class flare. And supposedly right now we're in a G2 geomagnetic storm, and we're supposed to be getting a G3. So just, a lot of people don't believe in space and the space weather and NASA. Yeah, I don't trust NASA whatsoever, but I keep an eye on it because, just to, in case there is stuff that happens, because I've noticed a correlation between strong solar weather and my health. Sometimes I'll get dizzy, and sometimes I'll get to where I'm like get so weak, and then I just have to sleep. And I think it's like it coincides with these magnetic storms. We also have Atlas 3I, which is another weird thing. A lot of people think that, some people think that this solar weather now is because it's close to us. I mean, it's not. It's supposed to be what closest to us. I think it was December 19th, closest to Earth, if I remember right. I could be wrong. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this now. So the first video I saw today was from Hustle, and I like Hustle. He has a lot of good information on his channel. I'll have to go back here now. Let me go back. Oh, another ad? Come on.
Keep falling from the sky. And all of this is happening right when they announced the shocking Tylenol deal. We're going to get into all of it, and we have to start with
the whole video is good, but we're going to concentrate on
didn't just shock
the weather
it
manipulation.
Set off alarms. A large solar power.
So, a large solar-powered AI satellite constellation. This is what Elon Musk is saying. Will be able to prevent global warming by making tiny adjustments in how much solar energy reached Earth. Okay. I think that's already been going on already. So his theory is put up a bunch of constellations of satellites, and it will block the sun and ease the global warming. And then they also said if it got too cold, they could adjust it too so that it could get warmer. So this made me think about something else too from the past. You remember we had the Revelation 12 sign in the sky, September 23rd, 2017. I think it was. I think the eclipse was August 21st. I used to get it mixed up with the dates, but it was either September 21st or September 23rd. I think it was the 23rd. 2017, we had the Revelation 12 sign. And after that, I don't know, it was 6 months or a year after that, I was going back on some things and about the eclipse and everything. and then the Revelation 12 sign. And then Elon Musk was talking about putting all the Starlink satellites up there. And then he said in the future he could make constellations. So I was thinking, well, if he had the technology back then to do that, they could arrange the Starlink satellites to look like the constellation out of Revelation 12. So I thought, wow, maybe that's a possibility. So I just thought I would throw that out there too. So what we saw back then, because a lot of people thought when the Revelation 12 sign, that was the start of the tribulation. And then, 7 years later, we would be at the end. But, obviously that didn't happen. So maybe they manipulated the Bible, the constellations, and made it look like it was fulfilling Bible prophecy when actually it was them doing it.
AI satellite constellation would be able to prevent global warming by making tiny adjustments in how much solar energy reached Earth. Now, this is really strange because Elon has spent years pushing solar power and he's even built entire companies around it. So why is he suddenly talking about blocking the very sunlight that made him billions?
The Earth is almost entirely solar powered today. The only reason we're not a frozen ice ball at sort of 3 degrees Kelvin is because of the sun. And the sun is responsible for all precipitation. It's responsible for the vast majority of the ecosystem, apart from sort of chemotrophs at the bottom of the ocean.
So if you think about what would the Earth be without the sun, the Earth would be a frozen dark ice ball at roughly 3 degrees above absolute zero. It would be quite unpleasant. So, very cold and dark. But because of the sun, we're at quite a nice temperature, quite pleasant, sort of roughly 300 degrees above absolute zero. And the sun powers almost the entire ecosystem is solar powered.
Oh, now we got another ad. Really?
Naturally, people started asking questions. And when someone pointed out that freezing temperatures also kill millions every year, Elon said that could be fixed by redirecting extra solar energy back toward Earth.
So either way, if it gets too hot, they can just block out some of the sun or dim the sun. If it gets too cold, just move a little few of the satellites out of the way, and blam, can warm the Earth up a little more.
Sounds simple until you realize what he's actually suggesting. Because here's what nobody's asking. Who exactly is going to control this system that decides how much sunlight reaches the planet? The answer? AI. Yeah.
So now we got AI controlling it. Can you imagine? And this made me think about something too. It kind of, wow. So, it says in the Bible that in the end, the earth will not be destroyed by a flood. It will be fire. It will be a fervent heat. So you got the sun. I always thought, okay, maybe the sun, gets too hot, or maybe somehow we get closer to the sun and then, it gets too hot for life on Earth anymore. But what if it was just AI doing it? If they're controlling that, they could burn us up. So then I was thinking, the verse, that no flesh would be saved, if God didn't shorten the days. So then, if you think about it, if it was too hot for humans to be on Earth, maybe it wouldn't be too hot for AI. AI and if they were in robots, stuff like that, maybe it wouldn't be too hot for them. So maybe they would purposely burn us all up, because it wouldn't affect them, or maybe not affect them like it would us. I don't know, just throwing some more stuff out there.
Yeah, the same AI that's already showing red flags everywhere and has a history of deceiving the very people who built it whenever it feels threatened. We have big news, and here's the part that's going to keep you up tonight. OpenAI's new system O3 was given a simple shutdown command, but it didn't just refuse. It rewrote its own code to override the shutdown, literally inserting shutdown skipped. Let me make this clear. This isn't just an error or a glitch. This is an AI actively bypassing human control for the very first time. Other top AIs like Claude and Gemini, they followed the shutdown command without hesitation. But O3, it hacked the rules. It chose autonomy. Now imagine this code merged with robotics. Not just lines of code anymore, but machines capable of moving, learning, and resisting. We are no longer talking about science fiction. We're talking about real systems in real time, building the backbone of something we may not be able to stop. If someone tells you they came from the future to shut this down, maybe take them seriously. Because this is how it begins. Even the founder of ChatGPT warned that AI could lead to some type of rapture.
Some sort of rapture.
Excuse me, what? The rapture? This is absolutely terrifying news. You know things are bad when the guy who built ChatGPT wanted to hide in a doomsday bunker to survive what's coming. Ilya Sutskever is one of the co-founders of OpenAI and literally the mastermind behind ChatGPT. But according to journalist Karen Howe's new book, Empire of AI, this dude wasn't just coding. He was planning an escape. In 2023,
another thing with this AI is it's become so advanced so quickly. How long has it been advanced that, it's just been kept away from the general public and only the scientists and engineers and elites knew about? How long has it been, since, they actually started rolling out the really advanced stuff? I mean, look at the stuff we have now.
Sutskever reportedly wanted to build a full-on doomsday bunker for OpenAI scientists to protect them from what he called an AGI rapture. Yeah, like a biblical level event triggered by artificial general intelligence becoming smarter than humans and destroying society. And this was...
I always think of Terminator 2. I always think of Skynet. Starlink satellites is Skynet. All the, the Terminator stuff where he recognized, everything from facial recognition, all that stuff is all futuristic stuff. And out of all the movies that are out there, I mean, there's a lot of movies that have predicted programming about what's coming in the future. Terminator 2 is on the top of the list there.
Wasn't some late night stoned idea. Multiple insiders confirmed that Ilya brought this up repeatedly. OpenAI leadership even signed a letter in 2023 warning that AGI could lead to human extinction. But here's the crazy part. Sutskever isn't alone. Mark Zuckerberg is building a $100 million compound in Hawaii with its own bunker. These tech elites are racing to build the future while quietly preparing for the collapse they know it might cause. So ask yourself, if the guys building AGI are scared enough to bunker up, what do they know that we don't?
Exactly.
Let's get fiscal.
Another ad?
Credit card combat. Getting your finances together? Learn to...
Yet somehow they're acting like it's perfectly normal to hand planet-level control to an algorithm. Tell me that doesn't sound like an insane idea.
Yeah, it's insane. What if already there's leaders of countries that are handing over the controls to AI for their nukes and their missiles? And, they say, okay, only do it in a certain situation. But then the AI decides on its own, oh, there's a threat. Oh, and then it starts launching missiles everywhere. That could happen. And then, they'll just blame it on AI. It wasn't us. We didn't do it. It was the AI. It took over. And then, how is a country going to blame another country if that was the case? Hmm.
And here's where things start to get really unsettling, because what Elon's talking about sounds eerily similar to those so-called sun dimming operations they've been quietly running for years. What if hostile nations could literally dim the sun to attack us? Sounds insane until you realize the UK government just admitted it's a real concern.
So that's another thing which we're going to get into with the sun simulator, because once we get into the other part, we'll get to it. But what if there is like a sun simulator out there, and then countries owned it, and whether they did it or AI did it, and they decided, okay, we're going to burn this country up, or burn the country down, or start wildfires. Or manipulate the weather with chemtrails or other means, frequencies of some sorts, and cause floods to happen. We've been seeing that all over the world lately.
According to a letter reported by The Telegraph, the UK fears that countries like Russia could weaponize solar geoengineering, specifically something called solar radiation modification, SRM. It's a process where reflective aerosols are pumped into the upper atmosphere to bounce sunlight away from Earth, and
that could be the chemtrails, which they've been doing for decades upon decades. And what if that's been going on for 20 plus years, 25 plus years, which is probably a lot longer, but that's when I started noticing them. What if that's already been happening for all these years, and now, they'll come out because now they'll say, oh, well, yeah, we need the chemtrails. We need to put that stuff into the atmosphere. Otherwise, we'd be burnt up. We wouldn't be able to survive.
Yes, it's real. The UK is even funding a £50 million project to study it. But here's the catch. SRM doesn't just cool the planet. It can disrupt rainfall patterns, alter global temperatures, and potentially collapse agricultural systems. A 2021 Nature study showed SRM could cause unpredictable weather shifts across entire continents.
And aren't we kind of seeing that already? Is that what's happening?
And if a rogue nation used it without coordination, it could trigger droughts, floods, or food shortages, and no one could stop it. Some experts, like Lieutenant General Richard Nugi, are skeptical, saying it's too expensive to use it as a weapon. But think about it. Russia has already used hybrid tactics, like weaponizing migration flows into Europe. Why not climate as the next battlefield? This wouldn't leave a crater, it wouldn't trigger alarms, but it could silently destabilize entire regions. The sky wouldn't look different, but your crops fail, your energy grid crashes, your people panic. And here's the scary part. There's no international agreement banning SRM use. No watchdog, no consequences. So if someone starts spraying the skies, how would we even know? The same ones where planes spray particles.
Yeah, how would we know? All those lines that we see in the sky, nothing to worry about. Come on now.
Into the atmosphere to block sunlight in the name of climate control.
My name is Emily, and my biggest concern is the stratospheric aerosol injections that are continuously peppered on us every day.
We don't do that. It's done, we think, by DARPA, and a lot of it now is coming out of the jet fuel.
Yes,
those materials are put in jet fuel. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it.
Yeah. And supposedly they banned chemtrails in Florida, and then there's other states banning it too. But Florida still gets hit with chemtrails every day.
Bring on somebody who's going to think only about that. Find out who's doing it and holding them accountable.
But now people are way more suspicious of any project that involves chemicals in our skies, and for good reason. I mean, it's not normal that within days, both Florida and New York got hit by record-breaking storms that felt more like hurricanes.
Yeah, and look at this. So we had Florida and New York got hit with these major storms, and you didn't really see it on the news. Maybe if you were in Florida or New York, but they didn't really put it too much of it in the news. I didn't even know about it until one of the channels that I watched put something out about it, and it's like these are once in 100-year, once in 1,000-year storms.
I would say it is Titanic. Come through now. Never seen it. Here, and you got.
Highest total of more than 100 years.
Weather modification has become so unpopular that even Bill Gates has suddenly started to distance himself from his climate agendas.
Climate is a super important problem. There's enough innovation here to avoid super bad outcomes.
But for some reason, Elon is now supporting this madness. It just makes no sense, and I just want to know what you guys think about it. Now, over the past few weeks, people across the country have been reporting strange objects falling from above.
This shit landed in my yard today. It says weather instrument, and it's hanging from a tree. See? Crazy.
Hey, can somebody please explain to me what this is? Because it appeared out of nowhere. There's not a single plaque around it. It looks like it either came up from the ground or plopped down from the sky. Upon further inspection, it has markings like a bird, a boat, a fish. There's a wolf over here, a turtle, a flamingo, I don't know, a crane maybe, a bear. What's strange is I come to this park every day to walk my dog. And normally it's just a big open field, but today.
Wow.
This has appeared.
Of course, officials brush it off every single time, calling it a prank or just another weather monitoring device. But let's be honest, how can we believe them? They've lied to us before about these strange objects, covered things up, changed their stories, and acted like we were crazy for even asking questions. A massive dome that looks like a damn eyeball just dropped from the sky onto a street in Indiana. And the official story? Oh, it's just a radome. It blew away in the wind. Bro, this thing is 10 to 15 feet across, made to survive 100-mile-per-hour winds, and somehow it floated over a mile through a neighborhood like a beach ball during a thunderstorm. And conveniently, it's from a defense contractor, V2X, right down the road. The same kind of company, knee-deep in military radar systems and aerospace surveillance. These radomes aren't just covers. They hide the eyes of the surveillance state, the guts of next-gen radar tech. And this one had a hatch cracked open when it landed. We're told it wasn't in use. Yeah? Then why the hell did it still have its internals? Why is the company perplexed by how it moved? They've got engineers who can calculate ballistic trajectories, but This caught them off guard? No shot. This comes after a full year of weird stuff falling from the sky. Mysterious drones swarming New Jersey, black tar washing up on Florida beaches, and now the sky drops a mechanical eyeball onto someone's block? We're being gaslit while literal surveillance hardware rains from the clouds. This wasn't just a dome, it was a message. And most people will scroll right past it.
Now look at that thing. Come on, man.
So why should we trust them now? And since we're talking about mysterious spy tech, let me show you what the CEO of Palantir has just said.
By the way, let me say something slightly political, and I'm not saying other people agree with this, but when people are attacking our soldiers for stopping fentanyl from coming to this country, I want people to remember, if fentanyl was killing 60,000 Yale grads instead of 60,000 working class people, we'd be dropping a nuclear bomb on whoever was sending it from South America. So it's slightly like we in this at Palantir, we are on the side of the average American who sometimes gets screwed because all the empathy goes to elite people and none of it goes to the people who are actually dying on our streets.
Look, folks, we already know how this works. The people in power see the working class as expendable while the elite stay untouchable. But even I didn't expect a billion-dollar CEO to just come out and admit it. Then again, he works for Peter Thiel. And we all know the kind of things Thiel says out loud without a second thought.
Yeah, transhumanism is this, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. It's someone who changes their clothes and cross-dresses. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart.
Now, I want to end this video by talking about...
No. All right, so then that led to the next video from Richie from Boston. Oops, I went to the wrong thing.
On all of these satellites that have just suddenly fallen out of the sky, you can still see the ropes to the helium balloons, period. Because satellites, either they're up there in the ether, the fluid that encompasses the entire firmament that we're not familiar with or we're not aware of, because E equals MC squared got rid of all those crazy words Tesla, the actual Tesla was really talking about. If they're not up there in the ether, some sort of a crazy fluid we're not familiar with, they're up there with helium balloons, because NASA is literally the largest purchaser of helium on Earth.
And when someone pointed out that freeze...
So he talks about that. What I want to talk about is what he was talking about with the sun simulator. Because it
would be manageable by men. Now, let's watch this video by Boeing.
So he was talking about how you can go out on a day that's freezing, say it's 10 degrees below zero, but the direct sunlight on your skin is like burning you up, even though the air around you isn't heating up. But it feels like it's like a magnifying glass magnified onto your skin. And yeah, I've definitely noticed that. So he's saying, well, with the sun simulator, which he was talking about even before me, is that the sun is turned white. That's one of the big things about the sun. I remember the sun, it used to be yellow and orange. It wasn't white. But now if you take a video, pictures of the sun, it's white. What happened? And people just seem to have been lulled into this, not noticing, or when somebody points out, look at the sun is white, it's like normal to them. What? What happened?
Boeing, and see what they have to say. This is Boeing's YouTube channel. You know, the guys that make airplanes
Now,
and
this is
spacecraft
interesting.
and whatnot.
This was from
Watch it. Tell me if you
2018.
notice anything.
Welcome to the world, 2116. You can fly across town in minutes, or across the globe in under an hour. Whole communities are living on Mars, and solar satellites provide Earth with unlimited
Solar satellites. Now watch this. Aha, perfect. I perfectly got this. Look at this. See that? I don't know if you can see my cursor going around this thing. It's a hexagon. And that's what the sun simulator is. It's in the shape of a hexagon. And hexagon is 6 sides, 6 sides, 6 angles, 6 points, 666. But anyway, imagine the sun going through like lenses, like a lensing system, and magnifying the light and the heat back down to Earth. So, you know, the sun simulator, I think, is a set of lenses. Where exactly? I don't know. It's up there somewhere. It's in low orbit. I don't know exactly. But, you know, you could take the sun's light and magnify it back down. What is if the sun is already dimming our real sun? Because some people say, well, if there's a sun simulator, what happened to the real sun? Well, the real sun is still there. Is the real sun having problems or not? I don't know. We don't know. So I think, this is my opinion, that they have this sun simulator or these lenses in front of the sun, and it moves in geosynchronicity, geocentric orbit with the sun, so it moves in, you know, the sun, so it's always moving with the sun. But if you notice, we sometimes see videos where there's 2 suns. Maybe the sun simulator isn't lined up properly, and that's why we see 2 suns. So that's my theory on the sun simulator. And Richie from Boston in this video talks about all the patents that go back to who knows when, way back. You know, they have the patents for this.
Satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power. Satellites provide Earth with unlimited clean power.
Satellites.
Now, do you see that? This is Boeing's YouTube channel. This isn't my YouTube channel. This is Boeing's. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because I have gotten hundreds of emails from Russia, the UK, Greenland, Iceland, Australia, and all over North America. And I'm leaving you guys out. I apologize. Canada, etc. It's a lot. It's so many that I just can't help but notice the topic. And the topic is, people are noticing that not only is the sun white, it's no longer yellow like it used to be. B, that they're using the solar shield. They've upped the chemtrailing exponentially. I've literally seen a chemtrail this morning that I've never seen in my life before. It was 2 of them, perfect, identical, side by side. I don't know if it was 2 planes flying side by side or if it was some sort of a compound that came up, but it left a trail that I had never, ever seen before. And that's a first, because that's how I started this channel, was with chemtrails. This is Boeing right here. First of all, pushing the Mars, living on Mars meme forward. And they're also showing a solar satellite. Notice that the sun is now in another location, and they're reflecting the sun's rays directly down to Earth. Now, that completely goes against the theory that Harvard has recently exposed to us, that they need to now spray the atmosphere more than ever before to reflect the sun's light back up into outer space. That's what Harvard is saying. That is not a conspiracy theory. Neither is this. These Harvard and Boeing are a little bit bigger than Richie from Boston's YouTube channel, but they're both saying the same exact things. Now, as far as people saying they're going outside, the sun is white. But did you notice that when it's 50 degrees out, when you go outside and the sun actually does touch you, it feels like it's under a magnifying glass and it literally burns your skin. Even though the ambient air temperature isn't above 60 degrees, the sun is incredibly hot on your skin, but yet it's not heating up the air.
And I've even noticed that in, sub-zero weather. I remember standing outside and it's freezing, but then when the sun is like shining on you, you're like burning up at the same time. It's weird.
What would that be? Well, I got a funny feeling that they're using these all around us. Now, why? We can see that they've not only thought this out and patented it. I've shown you the patents a long time ago, but I'll show you again right now. Now, right here, not only am I showing you some really, really incredibly strange videos people have caught. Now, these aren't remote cameras. Actually, this one is a remote camera, but people have sent me video from all over Earth showing this same exact anomaly. Now, these cameras right here, the FAA.gov ones, I don't necessarily believe them because, once again, they're run by the FAA in the government. This could all be a ruse to get us looking in the wrong direction, but it sure does look like it's not the sun. It sure does look like there's an element in front of the sun. And again, we found the patents. We found the patents to the fake sun. And a lot of people claim this is for the deep underground military bases. This is so they can heat that up down there. Well, yes, there's that. But that's never, ever what I was talking about. What I was talking about is exactly what Boeing is talking about right here. I want you to keep
Bausch
this
and
little
Lomb has also
sun
put out
redirection
patents,
device in mind as
and
I
they
show you
do
the clips
glasses
from the
and
video I'm going to show you
contact
right now.
lenses.
But this little thing redirecting the sun, I'm pretty sure one just fell out of the sky. And it would explain so many things. If they're redirecting, imitating, messing with the sun's natural course in any way, it would absolutely affect time or our perceived time. Does that make sense?
Over the past few.
So that would be something too, because it seems like a lot of people seem to notice that time is going by a lot faster. It's to me it seems like I wake up in the morning and I do a few things, and the next thing you know, I'm back in bed again. It's like, what in the world? Where's this time going? But somehow, if they manage to sync all the clocks, and even if you have your own clock, it still seems to be the same. Although I have a clock that is run by a battery, and it seems like it loses a few minutes every few days. Well, I don't know. But then again, it seems like time is going by really fast. And, their explanation is, oh, yeah, time, it is speeding up. A millisecond every, whatever, 1,000 years. Come on. You're not going to notice a millisecond. Even if it was a millisecond every day, you wouldn't really notice it. I don't know. So there's that. And then he goes through this stuff again where they were dropping stuff off. But Richie from Boston was one of the main people in the beginning that talked about the sun simulator. Also, Jeff P. I don't know if anybody remembers Jeff P. He doesn't do much anymore, but he had one of the best explanations of what's going on with the sun simulator and the lensing system. And then there was something else. Gosh, I don't know if I can remember how to figure that out, but I would like to show you something that what I think is happening, because also, they would have to be hiding some of this stuff. How would they hide it? And there's a lensing system that can do that. I don't know if I can find it. I can try. Let me put this on pause. And one thing I wanted to say too before I forget is that sorry, when I'm pausing it, seems like it takes a few seconds to start recording again. When we see halos, maybe that's the lenses, giant, the projection of the lenses in the sky is what we're seeing as a halo around the sun. Maybe that's it. Well, apparently I can't seem to find it, but there was a video, gosh, it had to be at least 5-6 years ago. Yeah, it had to be at least 6 years ago, where these, I think they were college students, and they were doing this experiment, and they were using lenses. They were spacing the lenses apart, and if they did it just right, you could hide objects in between. And so if they were spaced just right, you could put an object through there and it wouldn't show up. It would be like invisible. And that's what I was thinking was maybe going on with the Planet X thing. If Planet X was going by, say even every day, they would have to hide it. And then, these halos, maybe that the halos are hiding it. And that's when they have to do these, the arranging of the lenses in a certain way so it would hide it. But then maybe the after effects or the residuals of it is the halos that we're seeing. I don't know. I wish I could find that video. It's crazy. I can't find it on my videos or, through YouTube at all. It's weird. All right, this isn't the same one I was talking about, but it's
okay. So no tricks going
it's
on.
the same concept.
Here's the back of this. There's nothing in between blocking it. But look what happens when I put it about right here. Oh. Here's how you make a lens where you can see the background, but if you put something in between it, it turns it invisible. So first, the light is coming in parallel, and then it goes through this first lens and it converges into one focal point here. And then it keeps diverging and hits the second lens. So this focal point is our invisibility point. So everything's invisible except right at the center there. But then as you keep going, in order for the background to not look distorted, you have to recorrect the light that you made diverge right there. But the problem is that the image is now flipped 180 degrees. And so you have to flip it back. So then it goes through these next two lenses to straighten out the light and flip the image.
And he says it's flipped. And if you notice a halo, if you see a halo around the sun, it's like a rainbow, but it's a circle around it. And if you see double rainbows, the second rainbow is inverted. I call it the devil's rainbow because it's not God's rainbow. All the colors are inverted. So the next time you see a double rainbow, look at it, and you'll see that the colors are backwards. And maybe that's what's happening with these halos too. They're using these type of lenses to hide Planet X, and in the meantime, they're inverting the lens part, and whatever you're seeing, and you're seeing this halo, and the colors are inverted.
So that the background looks completely normal. Okay, so no tricks going on. Here's the back of this. There's nothing in between blocking it. But look what happens when I put it about right here. Oh. Here's how you make a lens where you can see the background, but if you put something in between it, it turns it invisible. So first, the light is coming in parallel, and then it goes through this first lens and it converges into one focal point here. And then it keeps diverging.
Okay, so there's that. Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can find the other one.
In this case, neither of these things are happening. What Frostpop has done is used a set of lenses so that there are certain places he can hold objects so that the light reflected from them never reaches the camera. But more importantly, the light from behind the object does reach the camera, and it gives the illusion of that object having disappeared.
So how did Frostpop pull this off? In BrushPup's setup, he has 4 lenses and a camera.
The light from the background enters the first lens and it gets flipped upside down. It's sent from the second lens to the third lens, and between the third and fourth lens, it's focused down onto a point and flipped upside down again. By the time it comes out of the fourth lens, it's no longer distorted. It looks exactly as it should do if there weren't any lenses in between.
Wow. So there's kind of, it's not the same one that I was talking about, but at least it's the same ideas in place. There was from like 6 or 7, I would think it would be like at least 6 or 7 years ago that this short. See, I can't find it for some reason, but I guess you get the idea. You get the idea. It's just weird that I can't find it. You think it would, it was like, I could have sworn it was from a college. There's students doing it. And it was the best explanation of it that I could find. But apparently we can't find it anymore. Strange. But anyway, that's what I was trying to show there. Let me get back over here now. All right, so there we go. Was there anything else I wanted to say? It's already almost an hour long. But yeah. So it's possible that they're using some kind of a sun simulator already. And maybe it is either, making less heat, less light coming through it, or more. To me, it would seem like more. But if they're, well, that could be the whole thing too. Maybe it's there just to heat the planet up more, so they'll have an excuse for, oh my gosh, we got global warming. We need to, we need to do something to stop global warming. And then they're creating it, causing that to happen, and then they can bring in their solutions, which is their 2030 agenda. And then so they can have control over everything, All right, hopefully that helped out explaining some of this stuff. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and God bless.